Welcome to the Rough Characters podcast. I am Philip Overby,
And I'm John Palladino.
and this is our second video of our wonderful faces that you can enjoy. And we are posting these on YouTube, so please feel free to pop over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel and all that YouTube stuff people say. And the regular audio podcasts are also available in the usual audio podcast places, Apple Podcast and Spotify and those kind of things. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about binge culture. So, in the past, I don't know how many years, binging has been kind of a popular thing in not only the fantasy and sci-fi genres, but just in general, because you can consume things that are released simultaneously. So we're kind of on different sides of the fence about binging. So we thought this would be a good topic to get into today. First, John has some news he would like to share in our news segment. That's the news music.
That's right. It's funny because before we came on, we were talking about the news just in general terms. We always like to keep it secret from one another so we can react with genuine reactions and have the conversations live. But right, I told Phil, I have news. It's not related to the topic of the video, but as soon as you said binge culture, I realized I'm a binge gamer, and my news has to do with gaming, games that I have binged several versions of. So let's talk about Diablo for a minute. Diablo 4 specifically. We haven't really talked since the beta came out, the free open beta, and I believe the game is scheduled to come out on 6/6, so June 6th. Did you play the beta?
No, because I haven't pre-ordered it yet.
There was an open beta. It was free, Phil.
Oh shit, really? I thought it was
Yeah,
only for pre-orders or something.
that was the first weekend. And then there
Ah,
was like 2 or 3 days, I think, where you could play it for free without having pre-ordered it,
oh,
uh, which is what I
damn.
did. Yeah, they had all 5 classes available. Uh, Here's the thing. The game is great from what I saw, but I probably didn't bring it up in conversation with you because I wasn't really playing it all that much for 2 reasons. The first is that it's a beta and I don't want to play too much of it because it's not, I want to wait until the game comes out. But mostly, I had an issue on my computer with the beta, and it kept lagging and force closing.
Mm,
So, and I know it's not my computer. I can run plenty of like more graphically demanding games, I guess. Uh,
mm,
and the default settings were all like the highest. When that happens, you're usually fine.
yeah.
So unfortunately, I wasn't really able to play it that much. But from what I did play, it seems great. I think that we talked about quite a while ago that you wanted to get the game on console, perhaps, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get it on PlayStation 5 because my computer is Walmart dog shit computer.
That's
So
right. You couldn't even run Gloomhaven on your
yeah, I
computer, right?
can't run anything on mine.
But the good news is that we would be able to play together because it is cross platform, I do believe. So
Yeah.
I'm a PC Diablo player. I prefer consoles, but for a game like Diablo, I can't stand doing the inventory management on a console.
Yeah, I found Diablo 3 on the console wasn't too bad for me, because I've played a few of these kind of action RPG games on console, and I played them not just on PlayStation but on Switch also. And
Oh my God, how does that work on Switch?
I have Diablo 2 on Switch, so I was playing that a bit. Um, but I can see how if you're, it's much easier to play on computer. Um, but yeah, I really looking back on Diablo 1 I played a lot. Diablo 2 I didn't get to play as much because I think when it came out, I didn't have a decent computer at all. And then Diablo 3, I didn't play that until it had been out for a while, and I think it was on sale, and that's why I got it. So I'm not like a hardcore Diablo person. I really like the game, but I haven't like really, got all the stuff or whatever. I just play it and have fun with it or whatever. Um, but I really enjoyed playing I think I was playing the sorcerer, and
Yeah.
I heard in the Diablo 4 beta or something. I saw a streamer. He did a barbarian run and he did a sorcerer run. The sorcerer run, he was fighting the first boss, and he was just like dead. It was like half the time spent. So he's like, man, the sorcerer's pretty broken. So I don't know if that's a usual thing in the game, but I always found the
Typically,
magic
I was,
classes were better.
yeah, typically the range classes are way better in those games.
Mm,
Uh, the it's funny that you said you played so much Diablo 1. I did not play that game. I didn't really like that game, but I
mm,
played a ton of number 2 and 3.
mm.
And I plan on playing a ton of 4. But what you said about the OP class there, the sorcerer, is so true. And I played a druid on my playthrough because I plan on playing a necromancer. So I didn't want to really ruin any of it for me. I just wanted to try something else out. So I tried a druid, and I went with like the bear shapeshift build,
Yeah.
and that was like probably the worst class in the game. Like everything took about 800 hits to kill, and I was like,
Wow.
man, is this game just really hard, or like do I just really suck? Like what's happening? And the first boss was insanely hard. I played
Mm.
on the second. I played on the harder difficulty, so that is probably part of it. But yeah, then after the beta ended, I was watching a few videos on YouTube, and they were like ranking the classes, and everyone was like, "Yeah, the bear build of the druid is like terrible," and I was like, "Oh, right, okay." So maybe I just happened to luck out and pick like the absolute worst class. It was so bad. I did try the sorcerer out a tiny bit, and the graphics to the fire spells were like just blowing me away. I was like, "Whoa, these are
Mm.
so cool." There's like one that looks like an actual flamethrower. It was really cool.
Yeah, I'll probably play a sorcerer, I think. Because I typically when I play these games, I always play whatever is the default, which I've always kind of found the barbarian to kind of be default, I guess. Like it's pretty easy to use.
Right.
So I think my first playthrough of Diablo 3, I played the barbarian, and my wife was a necromancer, and we were doing like couch co-op with it. And then when I played by myself, I played a sorcerer or sorceress, um, and yeah, I was just annihilating everything. And I was like, man, I wish I would have picked this the first time, because the barbarian is good, but I preferred the play style of the range classes more. I think, and the AOE stuff
Yeah.
you can do. You can throw something and
Right. I always default to whatever class has the most summons. I don't know why. I've always been a big fan of like summoning all these like minions. So I'll obviously be going to Necromancer.
yeah. So my wife was into the necromancer because she could summon the skeletons and all that stuff.
Right.
She liked to have all the little skeletons running around.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're both pretty interested in that. So I mean, maybe we could stream it one day or something. I don't know. See how that
Yeah,
goes.
you could. I haven't actually figured out how to stream a video game. I have, that I have my other YouTube channel that I stream on,
Yeah.
and I just figured out a couple weeks ago how to share my screen so I could put like a article like on the screen.
Mm.
I'm kind of technologically inept when it comes to this stuff. So I don't know how to get that to work. I would have to learn that, I guess.
Um, I'm probably actually a little bit behind you on some of the technological stuff because um, you're able to do certain things I haven't figured out yet. So, um, but let's get on to the main topic of binging. So, if you had to guess, which of us do you think is a binger and which of us is not a binger? Question for the audience. They can't respond. So I am typically not a binger of anything. I'm actually more of a try one thing and then try another of something else. So, for example, I would read book one of a series, and even if I really liked it, I would probably wouldn't read the rest of the series immediately. I might come back to it later because I like to read lots of different types of people. And this might be partially the reason I tend to not finish series is because I do this. Um, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, but for whatever reason, I just can't sit with a series and just read the whole thing. The only one I've done that with is Song of Ice and Fire when it was out. I read, I think I read all three books that were out at the time, and then when I had to wait for a Feast of, is it a Feast of Crows or a Feast for
Yeah.
Crows?
Um, I can't
I screw
remember.
up the title sometimes, and people are like, "It's not Feast of Crows, it's Feast for Crows, or whatever." Anyway, the Crows book, um, and I read that one immediately, and then I had
You're
to
right.
wait.
It's a feast for crows. I just
Feast,
checked.
okay, and then I had to wait for the next one, obviously, and then now we've been waiting. I don't know how long, so I don't know if that affects me somehow. Um, I think there are writers that are pretty prolific and they write a whole series within a few years. Um, and I'm not one of these people that's like I'm not going to read the series until it's finished.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I hate that line of thinking because if everyone thought that way, we wouldn't get any series.
that's true. So I mean, if people are like that, that's fine. I mean, I can understand that way of thinking in a way because
Right.
you get burned sometimes. You get really invested in a series and then does it get finished or whatever happens. But I don't care if the series is finished. I'll read, you know, the first
Right. Yeah,
book
me
or
neither.
whatever. And then you're more of a read everything or watch everything, whatever person.
Yeah, I am a straight binger. I if the whole series is out of a book, I'll just binge the series. If there's 8 seasons of a TV show out and I want to watch that TV show, typically I will just watch that TV show until I finish it. When a new game comes out, I will binge the shit out of it. I'll just try and play it, the whole thing in like a week if I can, uh, or two, depending on the size of the game. I try and get it done, and I think that a lot of that comes from for games anyway, especially if I don't keep myself playing the game. Uh, I will quickly kind of forget how to play the game, if that makes sense. So like I used to work 50-hour days, and so I'd get like a new game, and then I would work a 10-hour day. And after the 10-hour day ended, I didn't necessarily feel like jumping into the game necessarily. So
Yeah.
that's why I started to really like binge games, I think, was because if I took time away from the game, and this actually happened before I even worked 50-hour days, just in general. If I just took time away from it, I found it was really hard to get back into it. And I
Mm.
don't like, and these are games I like. Like I like the story, I like the gameplay, so I want to finish them. But if I don't play them fast enough, then I'll inevitably take time away from it and then kind of like fall out of playing the game, and then I'll never beat it. And then that sucks. So like Red Dead Redemption 2 is an example of a game that like I was really enjoying, but I didn't play it enough. And so then I ended up falling out of it. And then when I tried to get back into it, the game is so complicated.
Just it just happens to be sitting here.
The game is so complicated and big, and like I just picked it up and I had no idea what I was doing. So I was like, well, I got to start this game over again, or just quit it. So I never finished Red Dead Redemption 2, and it really it kind of annoys me because I was a big fan of it. But so like when Skyrim came out, I beat the whole game in like 4 days. Like I just whipped through that game because I didn't want to like fall out of it.
I think my issue with doing that is what happens to me if I binge something like right when I get it. Um, I get burned out on the game and then I don't want to play it anymore or something. It's like too much of a good thing. Um, but what happens, this might sound really stupid or totally alien concept, but I don't really care about beating games because I actually love the beginning of games more than anything. Like I love making the character at the beginning and doing different things than I did the first time. So like if I beat the game, that's great. Yeah, I'm happy. But like there are times when I've played like a game like Skyrim and I didn't even play the game. I just made 8 different characters for like
What?
yeah, it sounds weird. So I made like 8 different characters that were all like different races and builds or whatever. And then like, okay, I'm gonna play this character until I get sick of it. And then I'm gonna switch to another character and play that till I get sick of it.
Oh no.
So instead of just playing it like all the way through, I would do stuff like that. I actually did beat Skyrim because what happened was I found a character that I really liked, and I was like, okay, I'm going to play all the way through with this guy. So it's kind of like I like kind of testing out like different stuff before I commit to it. I guess kind of like test driving a car or something. So like I really like the archery stuff in Skyrim. So that's the kind of character I stuck with, like an art kind of like a stealth archery build.
Right.
So same thing with like Divinity Original Sin
Oh,
2.
those games are so good.
I've done that several times where it's like, okay, I'll make 8 different characters or whatever, 6 different characters, and then play
In
each
all
of them.
in all fairness, the Divinity, if you don't have like the right builds, like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
probably won't beat that game.
I mean, I have a I have it on like I have it on computer, I have it on PlayStation, and I have it on Switch. And I've played it all different
That's
ways.
crazy. Have you ever beat the game? That was kind of a stupid question, wasn't it? I should have
No.
known. I don't
uh
know why I asked that. I knew what the answer was. To be fair, I haven't beaten number two myself.
I have see what I do, this is what I do with everything. So like for example, right now I'm trying to reread R. Scott Bakker's um The Darkness That Comes Before, which is the first book in the Prince of Nothing series. And I read it years ago, and I'd made a decision like, okay, I'm not going to read any other series until I've finished the series. And I've kind of committed to it. But now I'm on the last like 80 pages, and I'm just like, uh, I'm just not finishing it for whatever reason.
This is the last book that you're
It's
on the
it's
last
the
80 pages of?
it's the first book in the series that
Dear
I've
God, Phil, I feel like you've been reading this book forever.
yeah, I have. It's not a really long book either. It's just like 500 pages or something.
Do you just
Um,
not read that much?
yeah, I think the only time I really read these days is before bed. So I read maybe 30
Hmm.
minutes a day or something like that. And once I'm working, I almost don't do anything. I just do work stuff, and then I work on my own stuff. So when I'm working, I tend to work more on my own stuff. And when I'm not working, I tend to consume more, play more
Right.
games, uh, watch more shows or whatever. So I would say when I'm working, I binge. I almost never binge, but when I'm not working, I do a little bit of binging. So, but usually it's really stupid shit. Like I'll binge, like me and my wife just binge Love Is Blind, the Netflix show, because it's stupid. So it's like I don't have to think about it, and I know it's stupid, and like I don't care what happens really. So there's no
Right.
investment in it. It's just like mindless after work garbage to stuff into my head while I eat my dinner.
Right.
So I do binge stuff like that, but um I mean, I'm all over the place with like series I've started and not finished, like because what happens is I hear from people, and then I'm just like, okay, I don't even care now. Like Stranger Things, I heard so many people say, oh, the last season of Stranger Things sucked.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
So I was just like, do I really even want to finish it now? I mean, I watched the first couple episodes and I liked them fine, I guess. But
Yeah.
the same thing with The Witcher. Like I watched Witcher season one and then Witcher season two. Um, I liked it fine, but just got distracted by something else, and it just that happens all the time.
Yeah. I get that. That's why I binge things probably. So I don't know. I finish them. I don't know. I don't know. For books, it's like I'm very much a one book at a time person. Uh and I like I said earlier, I like to finish a whole series. And mostly that's because I like to I do like to spend a lot of time in the world with the same characters because uh I don't know, I kind of once I'm there and I know what's going on and I know the situations, I kind of like to just stay in that until it's done, I guess. Uh but if I like read a book, like say I have a trilogy and I read the first book in the trilogy and then I like read other books and then I read the next book in that trilogy. Oh man, it's sometimes it's so hard for me to remember like all like who each character was and what they're doing. Like I typically remember all the names and all the people, but I always tend to forget like, okay, what exactly was this person doing?
Yeah,
And like why did I hate this person? Because I will always remember like, oh, I like this character just by their name, or I hated this character just by their name. But sometimes I'll just lose like plot, I guess, of like what happened. And I don't like doing that because then I feel like I read like 300 pages of the next book trying to figure out what's going on. And then when I finally kind of have caught back up, I feel like the book is either done or almost done. And then it's just kind of annoying. So that's why I kind of binge series. I just like to know what's going on instead of having that like memory lapse, I guess.
Well, one thing that I wish more streaming services would do is kind of bring it back to the kind of the old way of where I think some people were kind of arguing for this weekly episode kind of thing. Because what it does when you have a weekly episode, you can't binge the whole thing. You have to wait for the next episode to come out. And it also generates more interest, I think. So like people were saying, like on Twitter, people are excited about the next episode because it hasn't been released yet. So people are kind of it maintains the interest longer. Whereas if it's all released at once and people just binge the whole thing, then it's gone and it's out of the minds of viewership. So like
Right.
something like The Last of Us recently, or I can't remember the name of the Game of Thrones show.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Those were weekly, and I remember
Yes.
looking forward to each one and like all the kind of discussion around it. Whereas like if it was bingeable, you would have watched the whole thing, and then like you would have been like, oh man, wait till episode 8. That one's crazy, and I was like, what the fuck? I just I just want to watch.
Yeah, so I have kind of mm, maybe a hot take on this. I'm not sure. I prefer when shows release in a lump. Uh, I know a lot of people are arguing for. I've seen a lot of people argue for going back to like weekly releases for like Netflix and stuff.
Yeah.
Because and I do agree with this. Spoilers. If you don't watch it like as soon as it comes out, you have to avoid the internet because people are douchebags. They spoil it, and that's annoying. I hate that shit. But I really can't stand waiting for like a week between shows. I can't. I hate that. Just let me watch it all. Let me see it. Let me get the whole story and finish. I don't know. I feel like when you release as a lump, like batch of episodes, you're less incentivized to build for things like cliffhangers and annoying like now I say that, but Netflix is very famous for making uh cliffhangers on their shows even when they release them in big batches because I don't know why, but they to get you to watch the next one, I guess. But
To binge.
it yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. And so I don't know. I feel like the weekly episodes are nice when you're talking about spoilers and discussion because you're right. There's a lot more discussion that happens over a much more extended period of time. But man, it's so annoying having to wait 7 days to get to that next episode. And then so you watch like what? I guess if you're talking about a normal drama show, it'd be an hour. So you're watching, let's say, 8 hours of TV over 2 months. Like that, it's just annoyingly small fractions each week. And I think that is what bothers me because it takes so long to get through it. And that's just an 8 episode season. If you have more than 8 episodes, you're looking at 3, 4 months, and by the time you get to the finale of that show, you've forgotten what the beginning was.
Well, it really depends on, for me, the what the show is. Like, for example, if I had to wait every week to watch something that was released, 5 years ago, then I don't want to do that. But if it's something brand new and it's like a premiere, um, I like the anticipation myself. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen, and I can talk to different people about it. Like, what do you think's going to happen with this? And da, da, da,
Right.
whereas if it was like, for example, House of the Dragon, if it was all just dumped, um, I don't know how that would have went.
I would have preferred that personally.
I don't
But
think other people would have liked that as much, but Yeah, it just depends on timing, and it depends on attention span, and it depends. I mean, there's just so many things to consume these days.
Yes.
I feel like I want to consume. I'm like I'm like when I go to the buffet. This is how we can relate this. So I go to the buffet and I get a little bit of everything that I kind of like, and I sit down and eat, and then like, oh, I really like that, and then I'll go back and get some more. Whereas you go to the buffet and you find something, I know I like this. I'm gonna get this only and eat all of this. You know.
Ironically, that's exactly how I eat at buffets.
So you get the one thing and just eat that one thing.
Typically at any restaurant, I always get the same thing. So, uh, I go to Burger King, I always get the same sandwich. I go
Mm.
to Applebee's, I get the same meal every time. I go to buffet, I always get like the same three items. It's just how I am, because if I find something at a restaurant that I like, I'm almost too scared to go for something else, because I'm like, I already know I really like this.
Yeah.
So like, do I want to take a chance? And like, I guess at a buffet, it's not a big deal because you just strap your plate and get another plate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But at most restaurants, it's like, fuck, I'm out $35
Yeah.
or whatever.
So I guess I'm more willing to lose money on something I don't like, uh, which would make sense from my perspective of like trying a lot of different things. And sometimes there's going to be stuff I don't like, and that's just part of it.
That
Um,
is true.
so I think we've kind of talked about this as much as we can, unless there's something else you want to bring up.
About binging. I guess really I don't have much to talk about, but I am a little confused, not confused. I'm a little perplexed as to how, when you find something, be it a game, a book, a show that you really like, why then would you not keep consuming it and just keep trying other stuff? You already know you like something really good, like a lot. Don't you want to see it through?
Well, it's kind of like if I try that thing, now I know I like that thing, and I can put it aside and come back to it later when I want to experience that thing fully. Uh, like I had bought Cyberpunk and Elden Ring at the same time, and
Right.
I was playing both of them, kind of
That's madness.
going
You'll
back
never
and
be either of them.
no, I was going back and forth between the both of them. And what happened is Elden Ring, I got to the first kind of big boss, and he's kicking my ass every time. So I'm like, all right, let's go with Cyberpunk, and that's not happening in Cyberpunk. So I've stuck with that one, and I think I'm almost to the end of it. Um, but yesterday, Ghost of Tsushima was on sale, and I've been wanting to play that one, so I just bought
Oh
that
boy.
one. So I was playing that earlier.
Okay, but my counterpoint here is, now you're never gonna play Elden Ring like again.
I'll play it again.
You're gonna have to
Um,
start over.
I may have to start over, but that's okay because I think maybe the character I picked doesn't fit my play style. So I
Okay,
picked a warrior, and maybe I shouldn't have picked that. So I'm okay with I'm very much a trial and error kind of person, just in general. Like I like to try something, and then if I like it, it makes me happy in that moment, then I'll keep doing it. And then the next day I'll think, like Cyberpunk is one of those games where you can do other stuff. You don't have to just do the main story stuff.
right. Yep.
So that's why games like Grand Theft Auto and like Red Dead Redemption and kind of open world games, I tend to play those a lot more.
Mhm.
Even though the story may be on standstill, I like to just do stuff. So I was
And those games
really,
are really nice because you can do other stuff if you get stuck.
yeah, I was really excited on this sounds so lame, but I was really excited just to get a motorcycle in Cyberpunk and like the haptic feedback on my thing. It was like, whoa, it feels like a real motorcycle. I just have fun just riding the motorcycle around. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't um I just don't feel like I have to consume all of one thing all at once. And it's okay for me to start over. I don't mind starting over.
I wonder if this has something to do with our difference in opinions on re-consuming media. So you are famously somebody who will uh, replay, reread, rewatch things based on what you've already said today. We already know that you do that. You just said I played 8 different characters and I found the one I liked.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I don't replay games. I don't rewatch shows. I don't reread books. I hate it. I just hate it because I feel like I already know what's going to happen. So why am I doing this? It's not giving me entertainment. I know that this person dies here. I know that this building collapses here. Like none of this is exciting to me. I've already done this conversation. So like doing like re-consuming content like that, I cannot stand it. And I think that might be part of why I binge so many things because I don't want to have to return to it.
Mm, yeah, that makes sense. But uh the probably the reason I started doing this was because of BioWare. Um, because when you play, I mean, surely you didn't play Dragon Age and just play good guy or bad guy. You had to do both, right? Or Mass Effect, you had to do both.
uh so you are only correct because I was trying to max out the achievements. Otherwise, I would only play one playthrough as good.
Mm,
That I've always played good my first playthrough in games because a long time ago, I don't remember what game this was, but there was a game and I was playing it. And for the first time in my life, I was like, I'm going to play an evil route. And so I played the evil route in the game. And I found out later, maybe after I beat the game, I don't remember. But I found out that going evil actually locked me from a lot of content that the good side would have had, like extra playable characters and like things like that.
mm,
And I was like so annoyed and so upset that I'd missed out on like recruitable characters and like this part of the storyline that uh especially back then, I think it was more normal to have the good route kind of have the more canon like storyline and more stuff unlocked, I guess.
yeah.
And so I think from back then, I just kind of always learned, okay, if I want the real story, if I want to unlock everything, I have to be good. And I kind of always liked playing good anyway in games. So I was gravitated towards that. Nowadays, I don't think they really lock you out in such a way. Usually there's differences. So if you lock out of a recruitable character here, you'll usually get like an evil character there. Back in the day, when I was playing, a lot of games didn't really seem to do that. And so I think I just kind of trained myself to always be good. uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't really replay anything except for the Bioware games because I was trying to get all the achievements.
So that's that's probably what game designers want you to do. They want you to be able to get replay value. So that's why they make so many classes. That's why they have morality paths. Like if you do this, what if you do this style, it's like this. If you do this style, it's like that. Because they want people to keep playing the game. So
Yes.
that's something people complain about a lot with certain games because they do what you do. They play the game, they beat it, and they're like, "What the fuck? I paid $70 for this and I can't replay it. So that's why they always include all this like replay value stuff. Um, give you a DLC that lets you do extra stuff, and yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't like to
cool.
replay with different characters and morality. I think that might be one reason why I do enjoy the open world stuff, because a lot of the times those games are really big. So it means I can play one playthrough for like 50 or 60 hours and then I'm done with the game. And so that's really nice. But then again, I have friends who are still playing new characters in Skyrim, and I've only played that game once. I'm like, how are you still playing that game?
Well, I mean, it's for games I'm more likely to do that kind of thing. For books, it's very rare for me to go back and reread a book, or for movies, I'll
Yeah,
rewatch a movie like if I haven't seen it in a really long time and it's one of my favorites, but that's pretty rare also. Um, there's only a handful of movies I would do that with. Um, but yeah, generally I like to dabble. I'm a dabbler. All right. Well, let's move on to the combat arena. And I wonder if we can share this. I don't know if this is going to show up on the podcast if I share this screen.
oh, yep, I see it sharing here. Oh, I yeah. All right, so this is our cool arena that we've been using.
Yes. So, this is the first time recording with this, so I'm not sure how it's going to show up on the actual video, but hopefully it'll show up the way we're seeing it right now. Um, so today I am in the arena. It's been a long time for my wizard. BB over.
Yeah, we've done a lot of episodes where we didn't actually do any of this fighting stuff.
Yeah,
So it's been
so
it's been a while.
I'd like to get back in more general discussion videos a bit, and then or episodes, and then so we can do this a little bit more because I always have fun getting killed.
Yeah, so today you are fighting a hobgoblin warlord. Let me get my book over here so I can see our stats. But I guess we should roll for initiative, huh?
Yes.
Why am I
Initiatives.
typing this out? I have buttons for these.
Initiatives a D20, right?
Yes, man, it's been a while for you, huh?
Well, actually, I just played D&D yesterday, but I forgot.
Oh,
Forgot, and
all right.
I haven't done initiative yet. So
What was your initiative?
I rolled a 5, but I think I have a Dex modifier.
Yeah, he rolled a 7, so
Probably should have just clicked initiative on my character sheet. That was dumb.
that is a possibility. Yes.
All right, let's see which one is which one is better. We'll keep that one.
Uh,
Well,
all right.
if I keep that one, I get higher. But if I kept the
If not,
first
it's
one,
a tie.
if I keep the first one, it'd be a tie.
Right. Well, I don't really care who goes first. I don't think that's going to matter. So
You go first.
I'll, huh?
You can go first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I guess so.
I I'll let you go first. You're the player. I'll let you win the tie. Go ahead.
All right. So we agreed that invisibility is broken, right?
Yeah, I think we decided invisibility is not good for the format of this arena type thing. There might have been another spell too, but it's been a while. I don't remember. Maybe it was just invisibility.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
No, I think it was just invisibility. Sorry, I was looking over your spells.
I'm gonna try this one.
Oh, scorching ray. Natural one.
What did I do?
You rolled a natural one.
I rolled a natural one.
But I think you're supposed to roll an attack roll for each ray. Let's show the spell. You create 3 rays of fire. So yeah, you have to make 2 more of those attacks. So the first one misses.
So I'm rolling with advantage, it looks like. I need to turn that off.
You can't. It always rolls 2.
Oh,
You
really?
always take the one on the left, and then if you roll from the character sheet, it always rolls 2 in case you have advantage or disadvantage. You always take the first one on the left, and then unless you have advantage or disadvantage, then
Okay. So the first one missed. I can't find my character sheet again. All right.
Oh,
Here it is. So I click it again, I guess.
yeah. And one more time, this will fall. All right, that is no, and no. Okay, so three misses. It looks like.
Stupid.
All right,
I didn't hit.
so
I didn't hit with a 16.
nope. Unfortunately, you did not.
Hell.
All right, so our Hobgoblin Warlord is going to close the distance, and well, to be frank, I'll be kind of surprised if you survive this. He gets to make 3 attacks with his longsword here, and he gets a +9 to hit. All right, so his
Jeez.
first attack hits. I'm just going to roll all the attacks first, and then I'll do the damage. Oh, holy Jesus! All right, I think he hit with all 3 of his attacks quite easily.
Cast
All right.
invisibility quickly.
I'm gonna roll all of his damage right now. Oh wait, I can't. I didn't set it up that way, so I have to do this 3 different times. All right, so the first attack does a whole 4 damage. That's not bad. And then the next attack does 11 damage. So you got his minimum and his maximum attack damage there. And his third one does 5 damage. So we're looking at 20 damage total.
Survive.
Yeah, you actually survived. So you make it to round 2 with 6 health left.
Nice. All right. I'm not sure how this spell works. But I'm
Guess
gonna
we'll figure it out.
I'm gonna try. I want to try this.
Long Strider. You touch a creature, the target speed increases by 10 feet until the spell ends. So you're using that on yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I wanna run away.
Can you? Because that is. Oh yeah, I guess you can, but he did an attack of opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Are you still want to do that?
I guess that's pretty stupid. So no, I don't want to do that. The only thing I can think is to help me survive is maybe this.
Mage armor. Your AC becomes 13 plus your dexterity modifier. So right now you have 12, so that becomes 13 plus 2, right?
Yeah.
So you'd have 15. Okay.
Make
I
me
mean,
Make me harder to hit anyway.
Right. So you have an armor of 15. All right. Let's see if he kills you. But he
Oh,
has an attack modifier of +9. There's a hit right there, I think.
well,
So
maybe he'll load. Oh, no.
7 damage on his first attack. I
I'm
think that's enough to. Yeah, okay, you're out. You survived
okay.
2 rounds, but
Boo.
surviving 2 rounds means that you got a level up.
Oh, really? Sweet.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So now I'm level
5, right? Holy shit!
level 5 already.
I think when I looked at your character sheet earlier, you were level 4, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I'm level 5. Nice.
Nice.
All right. Well, I'll do that later.
All right,
We're back.
we're back. Hello.
Hi.
I
So,
missed you, Phil.
yeah, feelings mutual. So that ends today's episode. So thanks for watching or listening. And John, anything you would like to share with anyone?
I just uploaded my second book to Amazon. So if you want to pre-order Buzzard's Bowl, that would be fantastic. Or pick up the first one, The Trials of Ashmount, on Amazon.
Yeah. And for me, we have this channel here, the Negative HP YouTube channel. I'll be uploading our podcast here and then some of my own videos as well. So keep an eye here for different kinds of content. And I think that's all for this episode. Thanks, everyone. See you
Bye.
next time.